A thoughtfully developed pedagogy improves the quality of teaching and makes the students more receptive. Strongly believe that teachers are the creators of all professions. Whatever you will put in while you are learning, that is going to have a lifelong impact on anybody.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Great Principles. Great Principles, an educational and interactive talk show that brings together best school leaders of the country. I am Seema Chhoriya and I welcome you to another insightful sessions on Great Principles today. I think there is no higher calling in terms of career than public service, which is a chance to make a difference in people's lives and improve the world. My distinguished guest of today is an outstanding school leader who upholds the core values of education. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Kanchan Joshi, Principal, Cygnus World School, Vadodra. Welcome to Great Principles, ma'am. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you so much, Seema. It's such a pleasure to be here with you all. And you all are doing a great job. I've seen so many of your videos and they are really amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It really boosts the morale of my entire team and we really get a kick to keep on doing what we are doing.
Great.
Thank you. So, ma'am, let us begin where it all started. You know, there is like बीती हुई कहानी जो हम सबकी होती है before we start our career. So, we would like to know your kahani. What made you to reach into this education sector? So, let us know where it all started.
Yeah, sure. See, from a very early age, I was very fond of teaching. And unlike other kids, I always wished to be a teacher. So from early childhood, I used to, teach the children of my society, my colony and little ones and teach them from ABCD to whatever I knew. Everything I used to teach them on the walls of our garden walls. So I've always wanted to be a teacher. And that's how immediately after completing my post-graduation, I started teaching in City Montessori School, realized that it's extremely important to do B.Ed. And then I went ahead, completed my B.Ed and moved on in the field of education. Also, I strongly believe that teachers are the creators of all professions and have a great influence on young minds. So actually, my vision is to be able to impact as many children as possible in a positive manner so that they can develop into balanced, international minded, knowledgeable, principled inquirers and thinkers, because that is what is required for a peaceful 21st century.
Certainly, you know, wonderful thoughts you have and beautiful vision, because certainly this is something which is needed to build a country, you know, with this generation like this, the citizen like this. They are the future. The youth is the power of the country, and India has the maximum youth population going forward in coming years. Here, ma'am, there is one thing which is now, you know, my mind is thinking. We all talk about the education system. There is some changes, you know, there is education system undergoing changes. All school is at fault, teachers are at fault, our parents are at fault. But we all, you know, you, I, and so many of us are from the same educational system. We are the product, and I don't think we are doing so bad. So is it, who is actually supposed to be, you know, blamed here? Or I must not use the word blame, but then what went wrong?
So, see, it's quite unfortunate that, all of us as school authorities, as people in the policy-making positions, students, parents, everybody is busy running behind marks. Possibly this is because of the cutthroat competition that exists in our country because of the population. And also the status of education in the primary and secondary levels of the status of the teachers also is really not highly acknowledged and reputed. So because of that, the best students either move abroad or they get absorbed in the corporate sector, and possibly teaching is the last choice. So if that's the condition and nobody wants to come into the field of education as a teacher, then what is the future of education? So I strongly believe that pedagogy plays a very, very important role besides administration of an institution. And if that is taken care of in the most appropriate manner, there is nothing that is not possible. We are all talking about skill development among students, the 21st century skills. I think the schools feel the universities are responsible possible to get that inculcated among students. And the universities feel the students are there at school for almost 13, 14 long years, so they should be taking care of the same. But as an individual, as a principal, as a teacher, I feel that the schools can play a very, very important role in development of these skills. And people like you who are so smart, I'm very, very sure have gone to great schools who have been able to inculcate, good values, good skills, and that is why possibly you are doing so well.
So much, ma'am. No, again, here I have this thought again. Yes, I think we all have gone to similar kind of schools only. I see my family, my husband, my children, all are going to similar kind of setup. And we all, I think what missing today, the difference which I feel, and it's my personal opinion, that I somewhere had extreme respect for my teachers and my school. I was actually feared that what if I don't complete my homework? What if I don't show up on time? But these kids, this generation, somewhere lack that. And I think parents are at fault. Somewhere we don't show that respect for the teachers in front of our children. Is it something like that? Am I on the track?
Yes, so value education is something that, is going down the drain. Actually, to a great extent, we as parents and educationists are also responsible for the same. We are not being able to teach that to our students the way our parents and our teachers were able to do so, because we are overprotective. We are concerned about our students. Everything is being controlled by parents to a great extent, even at schools. So, they don't have any faith. Nobody has any faith anymore in humanity. So possibly because of that, the schools have also become extremely liberal. So possibly that's causing, ethical values, the moral values are just not getting ingrained into the students. However, there is a lot that the parents and schools together as stakeholders in the field of education of children can do if they instill the faith in each other. So I think that's the only way.
I completely agree with you, ma'am, because everyone's talking about changing curriculum, more skills and everything. Our curriculum is pretty good. And, the way all the subjects were taught to us, today we understand things. We can, comprehend what is being put forward to us. It's not like that, if something from science comes to me and I'm like, being a commerce student, I don't know this. I have something to say. And curriculum is good. Yes, you said we are overprotective and we as parents are just interfering everywhere. And that is, I think, somewhere is creating all this chaos in the education domain. So to all my dear parents, all of you, those who are watching us here, please give a little space, keep a difference between school life and your home life. Don't just, participate everywhere and take authority everywhere. Let teachers do their role. So on this note, we move ahead in our conversation, ma'am. Now, so we are talking about all these learning. So given the today's scenarios, how can educators ensure learning when imparted is impactful?
So I strongly feel that when education is imparted in its true spirit, it has the power to change the world, right? So a thoughtfully developed pedagogy improves the quality of teaching and makes the students more receptive during the teaching learning process. So consequently, this improves the students' level of learning. This improves the understanding of the student to a great extent, and also the participation of the student in the teaching learning process increases. This kind of education also imparts to the students with the different learning styles and abilities the children have. This kind of education, if it is imparted with a thoughtful process, then it is able to develop into individuals' high-level cognitive skills such as analysis, synthesis, evaluation. And finally, I feel that these children will result into leaders and not followers, into individuals who can think rationally and make decisions that will benefit the entire global community.
Absolutely. I'm a strong believer that if my education system today of the country can create a force of more job creators than job seekers, that is where we'll see the change. And this is what we all are heading for making our children more responsible, to take the ownership and be an entrepreneur. Yes, so wonderful tips by ma'am. How can education be more impactful? Moving ahead in our conversation, ma'am, we all have feel good when we are awarded or rewarded with some recognition and appreciated. At times just a word of appreciation makes our day, and we are energized again to keep going. So should educators and education system be blamed for the dismissal picture of learning and learners, wherein we are mapping everything by the rewards which child is getting, or the mark sheet, which is these days terms at the prestige sheet, how it should all be?
See, as I told you earlier, that we are all, busy running behind marks and grades and evaluations. And in the process, studies or anything that the child is coming to the school for is based on evaluation assessment. The process of learning is not of importance anymore. So children are studying for examinations and not for learning. So that's a disaster. That is the reason why if a child is learning something in grade 3, when the child is going to grade 4, the child is a clean slate. The child begins from zero again. So there is no building on concepts. There is no building on any basic values, basic concepts, anything. So this is because everybody is only and only busy focusing on the end product. The end product is not important. The process is important. Whatever you will put in while you are learning, that is going to have a lifelong impact on anybody. So I feel very, very strongly that everybody should focus only and only on development of skills, should have a pedagogy where children get an opportunity to do things themselves. Experiential learning is something that everybody is talking about, but we as a country should see how much of experiential learning actually we are being able to give to the students. Are we actually being able to provide children with required hands-on learning, which we call experiential and inquiry-based learning? So if that's actually happening, then there is nothing left to achieve. But I think we have a long way to go as far as these models of teaching learning process are to be implemented, because everybody, whether it is the parents, whether it is the school management, whether it is the society, everybody is looking at those prestigious mark sheets which make or break the life of children.
Completely agree with you, ma'am, because we as parents at times think if the child doesn't score marks, will he get admissions further in the university? So I think their entire things lies if this criteria of we have this cutouts. If this is changed, so somewhere this can be done. But yes, change is coming. We are seeing so many IB boards and international standard schools coming up where the focus is more on project-based learning, experiential learning. So hoping for the best, keeping fingers crossed. Let's see how NEP rolls out.
Very true. Yeah, let's hope things change for the better.
Okay, so ma'am, I see you so calm and composed. So tell me, who is your pillar of strength, whom you look up to for your support?
So my pillar of strength is my father. I have always found him to be a role model. He's a PhD in chemistry, and till grade 10, I was really bad in chemistry, I would say. But when I moved to grade 11th and 12th, I started loving chemistry, and I am a postgraduate in chemistry, have been a teacher of chemistry for long, and have always seen my father doing what is right. And whatever the circumstances have been, he has been so calm, composed, always had great faith in God, and has been a real positive individual who has never seen the negatives in anybody or in any circumstance. So I strongly feel that he is my pillar of strength. And whenever I am in any kind of difficult situation, if I think of him, I always understand and get a right direction to move towards. So he is the pillar of strength for me.
Wonderful. This is great to know. When parents are the role models, then that is reflected in our life also, and it continues with us throughout.
Absolutely.
So ahead on this wonderful note, we reached a very interesting segment of the show. This is for rapid fire round now. You have to answer in one word or maybe a sentence or two. Sure. So here goes the first question. Tell us about a funny or a weird incident in your life.
Funny. Okay. You have to actually think about it. Funny or weird. Okay, so recently I went into a class in my school, and children were, saying that the timetable has changed. We don't know whether we have to go for lunch or do we just have to, continue with our classes. So we have a PA system from where usually the coordinator of the primary school makes an announcement. So I was in grade 2. So in one of the sections of grade 2. So one child stood up and asked me that, ma'am, do you know we have to go for lunch, or are we supposed to stay here only? So the other child stood up and said, ma'am is principal, she will not know about it. Only our coordinator will know. Then another student got up and said, no, she's the principal. She only manages and she only tells everything. So it was such a pleasure to see this among students because they had come back after 1.5 years. It was such a funny incident that how you just get to understand how children think. So I think that was funny and weird for me.
Children, they see each role from their lens. Whatever they see the person doing, they understand, all right, these are his duties. We are not supposed to tell him, and this is how they divide who is where, what he does. So great to know about this incident. We asked about this incident because we're so busy in our life. So these fun incidents keep us, whenever we recall them, it just brings a smile on our face. And that is the reason we have added this question in our rapid fire round here. Moving ahead to our next conversation. Since we came to know that you are an avid reader, so I would like to know which was your last book you read and what impact it had on you.
So I've read this book called Whale Done by Ken Blenkard. So this is actually a book about being able to create positive relationships. So it says that even whales, the huge mammals on Earth, can be trained if we appreciate their positive behavior. So if whales can be trained the way we want them to be, so I think children and human beings are very, very easy to train to do the right thing. So it's all about positive relationships, and the more you appreciate the positive things being done by a person, rather than pointing out the negatives, the person or that individual tends to do whatever you are constantly talking about or constantly repeating. So if you are repeating and talking about positive things that the child or the individual is doing, that person will repeat that rather than repeating something that's negative.
I think this is again a very good parenting tip also, and even for adults to follow if they want anything to be done from their employees or from their colleagues and all. Just appreciate what they're doing and they'll keep on doing. Especially for children when they don't study. Oh, you're so good at study. Just look at you, and then they are on. So completely relatable.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is a wonderful trick, and it is also proved that through scientific studies also, everybody is talking about the growth mindset. So the growth mindset also to a great extent is based on this philosophy only. So if as educators, everybody understands this, because the easiest way to manage a classroom is to pull down anybody and then everybody is going to be quiet. But if you're able to appreciate subtly or even unconsciously, even children understand that being able to appreciate is extremely important. I think people are really stingy in being able to appreciate anybody. So children need to learn these values not as a separate moral science or a value education class, rather than we all modeling the same in the classrooms on a regular basis.
So, moving ahead now, your favorite sporting event?
Sorry, repeat. Can you repeat?
Sporting event.
A sporting event. So we had been to a place called Igatpuri, and it was a wonderful trip. And there we did a lot of trekking and really enjoyed. Based on that, we also called a couple of people who have actually trekked the Mount Everest 2-3 times, called them to our institution, got them to talk to our children. So this is something very close to my heart. I really enjoy it. And whenever I have time, I try to go ahead and with my family, with my children, with my students also, wherever I get an opportunity, I try to go there.
Wonderful. Moving ahead to our next question. Dancing is a healthy and fun way to exercise. True or false?
Yes, absolutely true. I am a Kathak dancer.
All right, wonderful. Great. So do you practice your dance today also?
No, no, not at all. I don't get time. But I love dancing. Whenever I get an opportunity with my friends, I try to dance.
The last question in this segment, the last vacation destination that you traveled to.
Oh, that's been such a long time. I went to Kerala. So almost 2 years back, just before COVID, 2019. Yes, 2019, we went to Kerala and visited almost 3, 4 places. So it was a pleasure trip and really enjoyed the trip to Kerala.
Great. So it was absolutely a delight knowing you in this segment. We came to know that you read a lot, you're a dancer, a Kathak dancer, and you like to travel to mountains. So many things we came to know about you. Moving ahead to the last question of the show, which is called Viewer's Choice Question. So my viewers have asked this question to me. They say that, each one of us have a vision. There is a vision of the school and there is a vision of the person who is leading the school. And I'm sure that as you would also discuss what was your vision in the second answer. So here I would like to ask you, how are you achieving your vision of making learning more meaningful and relevant at Cygnus School here?
Sure. So at Cygnus, we strongly believe that learning can happen in an enjoyable environment when you are happy. So we make sure that our teachers, our curriculum, and the way we transact the curriculum brings a lot of joy among students, and that happens only when they are actually learning by experiencing. So we focus a lot from grade 1 to grade 8, especially in designing our curriculum in such a way that children get lots of opportunities for hands-on learning, experiential learning, inquiry-based learning. And when children come to Cygnus, the one thing that everybody loves to do is moving around the campus. We are a green school. Everybody loves to play, enjoy games, and they are never pulled down for anything. So even if they've done a mistake, with a lot of love and affection, they are made to realize themselves that, yes, that's something that is inappropriate, incorrect that they have done. And possibly with this kind of curriculum that's being transacted, we can see that they are becoming critical thinkers and problem solvers. And one day they will possibly lead to a lot of innovations, which we are looking forward to. They will become, entrepreneurs because that's the need of the hour.
Wonderful. So it's great to know such school exists where children are treated so with such different kind of way, making them realize of their own mistakes and teaching them that why you shouldn't do it again. Because children are curious. They want to, every time they want, when you say no, they want to understand why. And we miss on that. So this is something which is very much relevant, that we need to tell our children that why you aren't supposed to do this, or how it is going to impact you and the environment around. So wonderful philosophy. I completely like the way it is being carried on in school. So, ma'am, the old saying goes that what I like to do is to try to make a difference with their work, with my work. And I see totally that you are doing it with your work. And in the entire conversation, I could make out how passionate you are about teaching. And it was such a delight having this conversation with you. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Seema. It was such a pleasure talking to you. You've been a wonderful host, and it's really been a very enjoyable experience with you. Thank you so much, Seema.